What's up, running fam? On this edition of Talks with Tip Top, I'm chatting with Florida runner Amber Deer. Amber's goal for 2020 is to run every single day. So far, she's kept it up, and we chat about how she maintains it in this southern heat. We also talk about every runner's favorite thing, running shoes, and so much more. Below are chapters, so feel free to scroll down and click ahead if there's something that intrigues you. I hope you enjoy our chat as much as I did.
Amber, thanks for joining with me today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you reaching out.
Of course. We won't delay much longer here, but I want to, just kind of I ask everybody this, how did you find running, or did running find you?
Yeah, it's a good question. I guess a little bit of both. So my freshman year of high school, I really knew I wanted to be part of a team sport. And it wasn't very coordinated, didn't play a lot of sports younger. And I knew that the ones that I did play I wasn't great at. So I went up to my coach, or my phys ed coach at the time, and said, hey, is there a team that you think could use an extra player? And he was like, well, I'm developing the cross country team. It's just running. And I was like, I could do running. That doesn't require any coordination. So started when I was 14, and kind of had its own peaks and valleys within its own, over 15 years now that I've been running, and gone from starting from cross country, then ran track, and then took a little break during college. And once college was ended, I decided to go for half marathons, and it's kind of been my sweet spot ever since this past year in 2019, when I decided that I was going to bite the bullet and do a full marathon.
What was your first? What was your full marathon that you ran?
Yeah, my first and only, unfortunately, due to COVID, is the Savannah Rock and Roll full marathon. So did the Rock and Roll series. I really highly recommend it for a first marathon.
Nice, and that was in Georgia.
In Georgia, yeah.
Awesome. Was that just I want to do my first marathon, or were you having a certain goal? Was it personal record, personal victory?
Yeah, it was just to get one on the books. So at the same time, I knew that I was going to start running or training for a marathon. So I actually started looking for a support group, and ended up finding my running group that I'm still a part of today, and a big family, extended family. And I just did it as goal to finish. I had friends that were going to come to town to cheer me on. So I knew that my friends, not being runners, that they were going to want to explore the city afterwards. And so I just really wanted to finish it healthy and strong, and not be in too much pain afterwards, so that I could go still walk and explore the city. And Savannah's a walking city, so I wanted to make sure that I was healthy enough to enjoy the after festivities as well. So I completed it in 4 hours and 41 minutes. And I feel like that was a great base. I feel like my next one, whenever that COVID allows for next one, I will be able to take it a step further, take it a step better.
Oh, congratulations on your first marathon. That is awesome. And yeah, I even just, in general, like the Rock and Roll group is pretty, it's popular, but I think it's a great introduction to maybe your first half, or even, your first full.
Absolutely. I always recommend, I'm here in Florida, so as a first full or half, but I guess even you could do a full, I always recommend the Disney ones, because they're just so not intimidating. Everyone's dressed up as a character, and you kind of feel like part of the environment. So I feel Rock and Roll is a little more serious, but I definitely feel it has the same kind of vibe with the band everywhere. So it's, you're not taking yourself too seriously.
Have you run Disney before?
I have. That was my first half marathon, was the Disney princess.
Nice. Which princess did you dress up as?
I being inexperienced, didn't realize that everyone was going to be dressed up. It was in 2010, so still hadn't really discovered I should join a group for it on Facebook or some kind of other extension. So I just did my normal gear, but we just kind of decked out in cheesy princess gear stuff.
Yeah. It's Disney. I feel like you have to.
Yeah, you definitely do. I had a tiara.
Okay, perfect. So in 2020 now, your goal is to run every day. How's that going?
It's going really good. I personally was concerned about it. I've heard people do a run every day challenge in a year, and I just kind of thought those people were crazy, and I thought that they weren't going to take into consideration certain uh, speed bumps along the way if someone gets sick, or I thought it was just really intense, or perhaps you don't allow yourself to have time, your body had time for recovery. So I thought a lot about it. I did January as a test month, kind of just to figure it out to see if I could do it, and ended up being, I don't want to say way easier, but I can say that at the end of the month, there were days where I I remembered I didn't necessarily want to run that day, but because I had the foundation of the day before and the day before that, I knew I couldn't let myself down. So now that we're halfway through the year, I don't even think about it. It's just so ingrained in my culture. With friends or whomever I'm with at the time, they now know to just ask the question, oh, when have you gone for your run? Like, are you going to need to take a break doing this? Or if we do a beach day, are you going to go for a run on the beach?
Yeah.
So everyone kind of knows to work around. It's very nice. They've been very accommodating, and being home more, I think it's been really a good, I don't want to say a lifesaver, but certainly has given me a lot of structure in my day, because I think this year is just so up in the air that I at least have one consistent thing to always know what's happening that day.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can definitely relate to that in the essence of like, okay, like maybe I can sleep an extra half hour to then maybe run 30 more minutes longer.
Right.
Yeah, especially from working from home. What do you, mileage wise, are you pushing, 20 to like 50 miles a week, or are you like, hey, 10 miles one day and then the rest of the days are at like 1 or 2 or 3 miles?
So over a month, I was averaging anywhere from 120 to 130, typically 120 per month. So actually right now I'm doing a challenge with my run group where I'm challenging to get to 150 for the month. So it is heavier mileage because that nets out to be 30 miles a week, something like that. But I do take long runs on Saturdays. So anything above 10 miles. So on a Friday, I only run a mile, just because, and that's, I try to only run it very easy,
Yeah.
at a very meandering pace so I can make sure that I'm prepared. Sundays, I just do 2, and I just do whatever my body feels like or tells me what my pace can do. So, and then during the week, I do a little, 5 to, I like to do a 5K every week just to kind of test myself. And then 5 miles, 6 miles, kind of whatever I feel like doing that day.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, in a way, it's almost like a half marathon taking place on the weekend. You do
Yeah,
your little like warm up the day before, your cool down the day after, some tempo runs through the week. Yeah,
that's really what it works out to be, for sure.
well, perfect. What are you usually listening to then? Do you change it up every day, or are you listening to the same playlist or the same podcast all the time?
That is such a runner question. I laugh only because I wasn't expecting it, but yeah, you as a runner would ask that. I'm a Pandora girl,
Okay.
and I usually listen to like an artist. Right now, I'm really into the female empowerment station. So Camila Cabello. I've been doing some Taylor Swift. Whatever's poppy. And sometimes I'll throw in a today's hot hits or whatever, just because I need music as opposed to podcasts, and I need it to be boppy and have a fast pace.
Okay. And what kind of tech shoes are you repping?
Yeah. So on my long runs, I'm doing Brooks. I'm gonna mispronounce it, Keanos. And I'm sorry, no, that's my ASICS Keanos, and I'm waiting for the 27s to come into my run store to get them. And then Brooks Glycerin, I believe.
Yeah.
So for Brooks are for my long runs because they're a little more sturdy, and then my ASICS, they're lighter, so I do them during the week.
Okay. Have you always run in Brooks or Asics, or are you one to maybe I'll switch it up every now and then?
I started in New Balances actually.
Okay.
And I like New Balances. I just kind of naturally transitioned out of them. I don't necessarily always think of them as a running shoe anymore, but 15 years ago they were. And then, yeah, I've always stayed with ASICS or Brooks. Pretty much those are and not always the same style, but pretty much always one of those brand makers. I didn't always rotate my shoes. Do you rotate your shoes?
I went on a huge Brooks kick, and then when I was training for my marathon, I was like, I might as well just stick with Brooks. And then I was like, all right, I want to change it up. So then I was like, okay, Hoka kick, and then okay, marathon coming around, I should probably stay with the same kind of like shoe and in that realm. And then now I'm on this Saucony kick.
Okay.
And, and I'm always wanting to be like, okay, I want to mix it up, but I don't want to mess up my feet. So
right. So where are you right now with your shoes, like in the life cycle of them, asking basically if you have to buy new ones anytime soon?
Yeah, so I actually just got the new Saucony Ride 13, I think it is. Okay. And that just came in this last week. So I'm only at like 15 miles on those, but my Sauconys that I had before, I can't remember like the exact name of them, but those, I was around 200 miles. The shoe was getting like a little too tight. Or not too tight. I guess my like feet were kind of getting a little bit more just torn up. So I figured, okay, best to get some new shoes now compared to, something damaging a month from now. So
yeah.
Usually
did you not get the same model when you ordered them?
No. Different, exactly different models. So.
And then did you order them online or did you go to the store?
I ordered my old Sauconys I actually got at the store, and then I just ordered these new ones online. So
I'm really afraid to do that.
Really? If the sizing doesn't.
Well, model over model, sometimes they're not that different year over year, but sometimes they are. And I tried reading reviews for the ASICS at least. And words can only do so much when it's really based on feel.
Right.
So for my Brooks, I just reordered them. They're actually like 3 models old because they were on sale when I bought them last year. But I did the same model, just a different color because I knew that they were going to fit. And then I mentioned that I'm waiting for the ASICS to come into my running store so I can go try them on first. I get really nervous.
Yeah, I'm always nervous when it comes to shoes. I have big feet. I wear size 14 shoes. So for me, going to the store may not always be a win. And I have one foot that's just like a half inch like shorter than the other one, so the alignment isn't always the best, which size 13 may work on one but not on the other shoe. So right. Not on the other foot. So
that's tough.
I just had to bite the bullet. I was like, all right, you know what, I'm gonna buy this online, have some faith, hopefully it works out. And so far
do you size up then? Do you go a little larger than in the shoe?
No, I will typically stay true. It stays true, honestly. So yeah, Saucony's pretty good so far. So yeah, I
even
definitely.
With the wonky foot.
Even the what? Sorry.
With the wonky sizing.
Yeah, even with that. So.
That's good. Hey, if it works, it works. I just get nervous. I'm a nervous Nelly.
No, you're good. Nikes I had issues with as a kid growing up with cleats playing baseball. That was always a little tricky. And I mean, my dad, he grew up running in Nikes, as they called them. But I just can't run in Nike shoes. I just can't do. Is there a pair for you that you just have maybe run in or you're just like, nope, never tried?
I did have a pair of Nikes and I bought them because I went to one of those larger chain stores and the guy kind of talked me into them. And the other piece of it is I'm a Florida State grad and they're Florida State colors. And I was like, yeah, whatever, they're running shoes. And I honestly didn't like them, so I haven't been back to them.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah, I don't really think of Nike as a running shoe like I do with a Hoka or an ASICS. So I think that's part of it too. Is just a little bit of the stigma or the marketing behind it, which I guess they did good on.
Right. Are you ranking up? I mean, obviously we're halfway through the year, so your shoes got to be like up in the mileage here. And I know you said you're just saving your one Brooks for your long runs, but your others obviously got to be a lot higher in your mileage.
Yeah, so I just bought the new Brooks, so the ones that are 3 models old. I just bought
Okay.
that one because they just released the new ones. So even though they're the older model, they're brand new for me. It's been funny because I guess I've always had it. The Garmin Connect app allows you to track the mileage on your shoes.
Yeah.
So I'm already, with running every day and doing this challenge, I've already put a decent amount of miles on them, and I've only had them for 2 weeks. So I don't know what I'm gonna do when it gets to depending on the shoes. Garmin Connect is recommending that it's 400 miles. So I think that's a little nice to give. I think it comes back to it. I have the heavier shoe has a lot more foam to it. So I don't know what I'm going to do when I get to 400, but I feel like it's going to come quick. So hopefully once I add that ASICS back in, it will kind of ease it a little bit. But I do try to aim for every 6 months,
Okay.
but I might get to the top level of the mileage a little sooner.
Yeah, you may hit like a Labor Day sale when you're, yeah,
I might
near it.
Yeah, exactly.
You had talked about like your running group. Do you prefer to run in a group, or are you one to run solo, or if you're one that who loves it?
Yeah, I thought I liked running solo, and I will say that 6 days a week I do like running solo. I really look forward to my Saturday long runs with my group. And now it's actually just a running buddy from the group and I are meeting on Saturdays just because we're still doing the social distancing and the group hasn't met. But I thought, again, I kind of viewed running as a singular sport, and I still do, but it's nice to have, especially for me when I first started with the group, I had been a runner for all those years. I've run half marathons, but I had never run a marathon. So I started running with people who've done 4 or 5 marathons, and they were able to, give me their advice. And pretty much everyone in my group has run a marathon. So anyone you go to, you can say, what was your number one experience that you learned? What would you recommend to someone else? People who've run the course. Like I met several people who run the course before I ran it. So that was cool. I got a lot out of them. And there's a social factor too. We do our long runs and we talk. We don't bring headphones. So it's unique too.
Nice.
Yeah. So I never thought I would like it, but now that I'm doing it, I love it, and I can't imagine another way.
Well, that's great. And I mean, yeah, the running community is so strong. I mean, yeah, sure, we're just talking here face to face and, on Instagram, everybody's like encouraging each other and whatnot. But yeah, when you're in a group like that and you can ask questions about certain races or their own running experiences, yeah, it just really helps.
I'm getting a lot more of that now that I'm more active on Instagram with the running, and then also from the group. I just joined it in September, so I'm not even at a full year, but I'm starting to realize how supportive the running community is. And if you're a true runner, you really are so friendly and you look after others because you kind of have to, especially in the racing environment. So it's been really cool to kind of bond with others through running.
Did you grow up in Florida? Is that like kind of where you've always run?
I did always, yeah. So I'm used to the heat. I'm a heat runner, and I'm pretty much okay with it. Cold scares me. I'm very, very scared of cold. I am signed up for the Philadelphia Marathon. Hopefully that happens. Who knows with the news of New York and Berlin today? But
Yeah.
I am scheduled to run Philadelphia, and I'm running it with my running buddy, and he's like, oh, we're gonna PR. I'm like, you don't understand, 40 degrees is really cold. Like that's 40 degrees is cold, and Philadelphia is supposed to be like 25, so I'm a little nervous. I would rather run in heat than in cold.
Pack your running gloves and your beanie and brace for the wind.
I'm gonna have to get all of that. I don't know any of that.
Yeah. I wish you luck now. You have to let me know how that goes in 6 months.
Yeah, it might be a popsicle.
Yeah. Well, probably not Philadelphia in the wintertime, but do you have like a dream location that you would like love to run? It could be a race, but if you're just like, the beach, like in, I don't know, Bermuda or something, like.
I think it's just the races. I think it's the 6 that all of us, really not even 6'5", so the masters. I would just love to do any of the masters. Would be great. There's the race in Massachusetts that we all kind of talk about, which would be nice.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Boston would be great, but I'm any of the world majors would be an honor to be able to run. And I have, starting last year, I've applied for all of them. Haven't gotten in, but I'm keeping my I guess even the people who are running them now aren't running them, so I guess that's not that bad of a loss. So I'll apply next year.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep applying, and yeah, maybe one day get lucky. Is there anything that you're kind of, I don't want to say like struggling with, but maybe something that you would like to improve about your running?
Oh, that's a good question. So I feel pretty on top of my game at the moment. But I will say, I think the aftercare of running. So I'm really, really, with this 150-mile challenge, I've kind of incorporated my own challenge with it, which is, a certain amount of like workouts a day. But one of the things that I'm really bad at is following it up with my foam roller and stretching. So I need to get better at that, because I notice when I'm consistently, especially foam rolling, so it relieves a lot of my pain and I'm not noticing it as much. So I need to be more consistent. I need to be committing to it. I am doing it a few times a week now, which I give a lot of credit to why I'm not injured. But just keep on the stretching and the foam rolling, because those are the two things that have really, I feel, really helped me stay away from injury these past 6 months.
Well, that's good. And I feel like, stretching and foam rolling are things that I feel like every runner says like they need to do more of, because we don't do it enough. And I'm definitely a victim of that. But I have the Peloton app, and actually it's because of the app, I'm actually stretching more now than I was the last few years, either stretching pre or post run. So
and it makes a difference. And you want to just get it done and then hop in the shower or whatever, or, your day, you don't, but it's, for me now, I've been trying to treat it as part of my running routine. I think we can always get better, but ideally I'd be doing it every day.
Does that go for your like warm up routine? Do you usually do, or are you just like, all right, couple back lunges, couple squats, I'm good to go?
Yeah, I do. That's a great idea. Now you're making me feel guilty. I do like toe touches and like my side stretches and things like that. But that's probably no longer than 2 songs worth. So we're talking about 5 minutes. But I mean, sometimes I'm just raring to go, and I don't do the pre-run stretch as much as I should. A lot, but I do when I'm doing it and I'm better at it. I'm definitely more consistent with the post-run stretch.
Do you make time for strength training? And I guess, like, how do you mix that in with running every day?
That's a great question. I wasn't originally, but after the marathon, I realized how connected all the pieces of your body are, even though, you think of running just with your legs, but it's everything. So at the beginning of the year, one of my New Year's resolutions was to strength train more. And I was doing it. So I'd spend, whatever time doing my run, and then always 30 minutes, at least 3 or 4 times a week, I was doing strength training. A little harder now. I'm still not going to the gyms, even though they're slowly opening back up here in Florida. So I'm kind of doing a make do stuff. So I am a lot of push-ups, a lot of like body weight strength training. And hopefully I can get back in the gym soon enough and start doing like actual, weight strength training.
Awesome. Well, one final question, I guess. What like piece of advice would you give, maybe it could be like someone who like would want to start running, or maybe who wants to sign up for that marathon, but is kind of nervous about, maybe running 26.2 miles.
I think what has helped me is defining, there's always the overall goal. So the overall goal is to run a marathon. But if you take it into consideration and recognize your wins within the training, something that when I was training for the first was, I always acknowledged this run was the farthest run that I've ever run, so I ran 14 miles, and that was, for me, I've never run 14 miles because I only done a half marathon. So it was, I said it out loud to my run group, and it felt kind of silly because everyone there was so seasoned, but as a run group, they were all very supportive. So acknowledging those milestones as you work towards your goal, and celebrating those, and just being consistent. And if you're a new runner and it's just your goal is to run a 5K, acknowledging that you were able to run 3 mailboxes down rather than just to your mailbox. So a mile is a mile too. So don't ever discount it. I have people who, say, oh, you run a marathon, and I could never run a marathon. I just did a 5K. Well, 5K is still amazing.
It's something, yeah.
Yeah, you got off the couch, you did it, and 5K is still more than a lot of other people have done. So don't discount your own goals because it's still amazing. And just celebrating the small wins that come with running.
Thank you again, Amber, for chatting with me. And if you'd like to give Amber a follow, scroll down to the episode notes below. Or if there was something that intrigued you, I included links on a lot of things we talked about. Make each day your own masterpiece. And remember, every day is a good day to run. I'll see you out on the road.